Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Peter Stone coming to you live from Samut Prakan, Thailand, where I gotta say, the weather is so nice, finally. It was a little warm, but it's the winter time in Thailand, and it's the real winter. It's like the breeze is out, the air is dry, it's uplifting, and it's energetic. And I am so grateful for that. And I welcome everyone here to this webinar. And I want to explain a little bit about how Peter Stone came about. And it really, I never thought about ever having my own factory, my own jewelry company, making my own jewelry when I first started my business back in 1987. I bought jewelry, I sold jewelry. I bought jewelry, I sold jewelry. And I bought jewelry and sold jewelry for many years, like, well, not that many, but 4.5 years. And for some people that are just starting business, that is many years, right? So I had this experience of importing and exporting. So I imported to the United States. I came to Thailand. I bought off the shelf jewelry that I could sell, but it's the quality I realized over time was not what I wanted. And then I decided one day that I'm really tired of this stuff. I can make it better. This is just like there's no creativity. This was way a long time ago in 1987. So I was going to resorts and tourist areas and the ocean and the mountains because I figured let me get paid to go to the sea and enjoy what everyone else is enjoying and get paid for it. And the same thing with going up into the mountains in the summertime. That's just beautiful. I ended up doing fairs and festivals. And some of you know, you may be clients of Peter Stone or you're out there doing fairs and festivals. You maybe want to add Peter Stone. It works really well. It's been working really well for over 35 years. So why is it working well? It's the art. Actually, in the beginning, I failed. I went out to start in the world of gemstones. And in 1989, when I actually started selling the gemstones, I was doing a lot of studying. And my big sale was I made the big launch in 89, but I had been selling since 87. And when I personally went out and really pushed hard, I got beat up because the economy crashed then. It was in a big fall. A lot of people don't know about the S&L loan crisis where properties were being repossessed, all kinds of things. So it wasn't a good time, but it was great because you could say that, oh, I failed. I went to school, I became a gemologist, I did all kinds of stuff, and then I bought and it failed. And it failed in a way that it was a learning curve. Okay, so that didn't work. So what do I do next? Oh, I got some jewelry samples before and it sold like candy. So I put the gemstones in the jewelry. I was forced. Both of my parents are artists, and my father was a builder. They both painted. Mother played piano. My father was an architect. A lot of different things, and I have to say that I am grateful that some of those things spilled down as far as art and creativity and curiosity. Curiosity. I never designed a piece of jewelry in my life. I only had one piece. And then I went and I bought a lot. Like I never sold jewelry in my life. I went and I bought $5,000 worth of jewelry that I felt would sell plus, and I didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing. Plus what these people at this company in Thailand told me I should buy. So I took their recommendations. Oh, really? I let them give me just about anything they wanted. And they slid some stuff, like 20% was they unloaded their stuff they couldn't sell, but the other 80%, maybe 70% was stuff they knew I could sell and would sell well and that I would be back. They were smart enough to unload a small portion, but give me enough good stuff for me to come back and make more money, because they didn't want to sell to me one time. They wanted to sell to me many times. But when I found out what they did with plating brass jewelry and calling it sterling silver, telling me that their blue topaz uh, was this great London blue topaz, but they bought it from somebody else, and it actually was synthetic spinel. My gemology allowed me to break these people down and find out that they were scamming. And they were a huge company that began as a noodle cart in Bangkok, but they cheated people so much that they built this business rapidly because their profit was through the roof. Just scam, scam, scam. But they were really nice and friendly, and they treated you so nice. And every time they saw you, hello, Mr. Peter, how are you? Here, have some fruit, and oh, here's our new jewelry. And all along the way, they were scamming about 70 to 80% of what they sold me. And I didn't know it until years later. But what I did know is that their jewelry was okay. It's like what everybody else can buy on the street today in Thailand or in India or wherever you go. And that's on stock. And there was one transaction that just broke the straw that broke the camel's back. And I said, no, you know what? I tried to get, before it all crashed, I brought in my own design line. And I said, because I decided, well, let me try this company. Let's see if they can make this line of jewelry. I got all these drawings, everything. And I went in, I said, can you please make me a Weichai? Can you please make me this line of jewelry? Oh, yeah, no problem. We have all these designers. Took me up to the design room and showed me all this stuff. And the model making and all this. And so I saw it, and I felt good about it. So I gave it to the designs. I came back 6 weeks later. I said, he goes, oh, yeah, Miss Peter, your job's all ready. Everything's good. Here's our samples. Excuse me. And I go, Weichai, I didn't ask for dogs. I didn't ask for ducks. I gave you a really nice line of dolphin sea life jewelry to make. And that was like the end. I said, I'm going to do this myself. So that's where the accumulation of being forced to design jewelry, forced to learn how to make jewelry, but I knew enough resources, people around me that could do it, until I could learn. So this is the thing about life. If you don't know about business or art, it's kind of like I would take my last, pretty much, money, everything I had, and put into this jewelry. And because just in my heart of hearts, I knew I could sell it. Some things didn't sell, so they went into the pot that was mistakes. But I sold enough to buy more. But when I finally discovered that they couldn't make this jewelry for me, that was the end, I started my company. And there's a woman who is now my wife that worked in that company. I said, come on, help me to talk to the Thais and get the outside people to make it for us. But the jewelry got worse for a year. It was horrible. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was able to get through, and it got better and it got better. And this is where the art and the creativity comes in, is that I really felt deep inside that I could refine it. I knew what nice things look like. You do, we do, right? We know. And if we don't know, we'll find out. And just a side note is that we have at Peter Stone Jewelry, a tool that can save you. Like I used to make every model brand new, brand new, brand new. And I didn't know I was going to sell or not. And what it really turned out is like only 20%, 10% of 20,000 designs sold, but they sold and they sold well. And of 2,000 items, then that even shrinks down to less as bestsellers. So much work, but that is due to marketing, exposure, and all kinds of things. And this is part of my point is the drop ship marketing tool. When you put things online, you haven't invested cash in it. So you have invested cash in things that you know are selling, but when you get creative and you have a feeling in your gut, if I created this line of jewelry, I could sell this and be number one, I could be different. I could be creative. I would be rewarding myself because I'm taking what I feel and I'm turning it into art, beauty, and cash. And this cycle begins of creativity and art. And if you're not an artist, but you have an idea and a feel of how you would like to have a line of jewelry, small collection, 12 items, 6 items, 18 items, 24, the choice is yours. And if you're creative, we'll follow your guidelines. But if you need help, we'll work together and it has to feel right. And in some cases, you may just say, Peter, look, make a line of jewelry or give me the items that you think will sell for my market. With 43 niche markets to serve, you only need a couple. What's your passion? What do you want? Where do you want to sell? So when I look at our wholesale applications, some people pick like 20 different things that they're interested in: astrology, Viking, Celtic, dogs, cats. I mean, I see some variety in there. Some is really a short list. Yesterday, what was it? I was doing my video reply because everyone who applies, I do a personal video to you to let you know I'm paying attention to every detail that you put in that application. One person goes, well, why are you asking me all these questions? And I'm like, okay, she was in business 34 years. She knew what she wanted to do. Well, look, I've been in business 35, and it's not anything that it's a year more or anything like that. I just been in business a long time too. And I told her that. I said, well, I'm constantly learning. The market is constantly changing, and I must change with the market. That's one thing I have learned in 35 years that I know for sure. If I don't change and I try to keep doing things exactly my way, it's the highway, because then we just close and we say goodbye because it doesn't work. So we have adjusted and brought tools forward for the creative, for the people that may not have the cash up front. We have solutions for funding, 3 or 4 of them, including PayPal. I mean, they'll give you credit for 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. There's no excuse about that. What you've got to do is to learn. If you're not sure how, you can join us, sign up, and follow us here and subscribe and get engaged so you can learn the shortcuts and learn how not to waste your money on things that you shouldn't. Things that I've already done for you. I mean, I've spent millions of dollars on mistakes, just on mistakes. But that's how I learned. And I made millions of dollars by not making mistakes in some areas from my gut. And the gut is in art, is where that's where art comes from. It comes from above, like you're directed, like the muse. Some people call it the muse, where you don't know where you get this thought, but you feel this way. This is what you like. It comes from your gut and it comes from above. So it's really complete when you listen to it and act on it, most importantly. It's one of the biggest failures of people is they get a great idea, they get a good feeling, and they don't act on it. And I have way too many creative my brain, too many creative feelings, and my challenges. I try to act, but that's where this thing on concentration. I spoke earlier of stepping up and stepping out earlier in the week. That this is really important to choose your art in the beginning and then make something work. But choose art that you know is going to sell in the beginning. Then do something. You say, well, I don't exactly want to do that, but do that because you know you can sell it. And how are you going to know? You can test it with a drop ship marketing tool. You sell wholesale to optimize your profit. Then you add another 100 or 200 designs to your website that you don't carry inventory. Let us drop ship it for you. Learn what works, then buy it and get the best of both worlds. Buy it wholesale, make your profit that you need, and then you'll still make good money with drop shipping, and then add gold. Gold is crazy. It's going up, and you need to get in the game now because people who invest, even if you're a single retail buyer, if you buy a piece of gold today, it's going to be worth quite a bit of money in the future. So it's going to be worth more than the cash flow. I can assure you of that. So please take note. And uh, in this jewelry business, one thing is fashion jewelry, but pieces of plastic don't have much value long term. Pieces of what I call plain old white metal, some toxic metals that have a nice design, they have no long term value and they can harm you. Okay. And the place that they come from is not a good energetic experience. So pay attention to your heart and get into your creativity and find out what it is that you want to do. And if you know what you want to do, then add and expand and grow and show up different than most people by adding gold, exceptional jewelry. That's what you get from Peter Stone. Not what everybody else has, not what everybody else is buying on Alibaba, and not what everybody else is buying on all these other websites. Get unique and use your artistic skills. Don't be afraid because other people will recognize and feel the same connection. And I would suggest not just one line, but you should get your one line and get a few peripheral lines, like at least three, like your core line and two others, or five, your core line and four others on the outside that are related to it, like healing chakra, Reiki, Celtic, or archangels. They're all in the realm of healing, protection, symbols that have meaning over the years. So this is Peter Stone, just a short, it's probably long for some people, but it is an overview of how you can get started and really where to come from in using your art and your skills to take it to another level and get out of the competition. You'll blow the competition away when you engage. Please engage and sign up for the Peter Stone Jewelry Institute because you'll want to be ahead of the game. When that launches, you'll be the first to know, first in line, and you are going to get some really amazing, refined information that will make 2022 your best year yet as far as business and strategy. That's gonna take you. When I do these people that come and say, well, I'm gonna make $25,000 or 50,000 this year, I'm like, well, I can show you immediately how to double that. I can show you immediately how to double that. And we can hop on a call anytime. We can do a Google Meet. We can do a Zoom call. We can do a Skype call. And we can go over this. And I will help you every step of the way because one of the things I love to do is to help people that really want to grow business, really want to make their efforts pay off in building a wonderful company and with great income that's going to support you for a long time. This is Peter Stone saying thanks. See you on Monday night.